Today's video is sponsored by Quest Portal. Quest Portal is a virtual tabletop designed to play TTRPGs on both desktop and mobile devices. Their easy to use platform offers a powerful AI assistant, an integrated notes tool, character sheets, beautiful backdrops, ambient music, battle maps, and all the support you need to run a streamlined game. I've started playing with Quest Portal's AI assistant, and I love how simple it makes brainstorming and ideation. Plus, with game system integration, it makes finding rules fast and easy. That's worth its weight in gold when you're trying to learn a new TTRPG or pick up one that you haven't played in a while. Additionally, most of Quest Portal's features are free to use on desktop and the mobile app. That makes it the perfect choice for new GMs looking to get started with a VTT for the very first time. You can try out Quest Portal and support my channel by following the affiliate link in the description. Thanks for watching, and now back to our video. So I have a number of campaigns going right now that have relatively low level characters, and I was thinking about things that I could put out in the wilderness for them to find. Maybe things that they could stumble across when they fail a navigation check and get turned around, instead of just doing the, well, you get there, but it takes you an additional 4 hours sort of thing. I could have them accidentally discover parts of the world and kind of use those as a world building moment as opposed to just kind of a punitive, we didn't hit the DC on our dice roll, and so there's a negative consequence sort of thing. So I was thinking about little self contained dungeon adventures, adventures that would be relatively quick to run, that wouldn't have a lot of depth to them, but that might be able to add a little bit of flavor, add a little bit of texture to the world, and perhaps layer in some things that might expand this campaign world organically. Introducing hints or villains or potential monsters or things that we might be able to weave back into the story later. And so turn this, failed navigation check into a world building moment. And so I was thinking about what kinds of things I might want to weave into my world. And I kept coming back to the idea of a lich. I love liches as villains. I think they're one of the coolest out there. I just think that the sort of the background that goes along with them, the context of them in the D&D world is just super cool. You have somebody who was so obsessed with power and immortality that they went out and accomplished it, and now they have to feed on souls. And that speaks to a certain kind of individual. It makes a villain that's easy to hate, but you can also add a lot of catharsis to that villain. You could really humanize them if you worked on it. There's just a lot of depth. There's a lot of things you could do with a lich. And so I really wanted to do something with a lich, but that's really OP for the low level characters that I had in these campaigns that I had in mind. I was thinking somewhere along the lines of 4 second level characters was kind of what I was planning for or thinking about. And so I got this idea while I was looking at things for my nieces and nephews, who span a variety of ages. But I was walking through a toy aisle and I saw a bunch of, uh, you know, babies first, whatever kind of stuff in there. And I thought, well, what about Lich's first Deathtrap? That could be a lot of fun, right? Because you become a lich. Nobody's like, oh, here, by the way, here's how you build death traps, right? I imagine it's something you kind of have to figure out on your own, and you kind of need them as a lich. I mean, that's like how you get food, right? You need to lure people into these things so that you can consume their souls, right? So I thought, well, what if we stumbled upon a lich's first attempt at a death trap? And so, they started with something simple because they wanted a simple success, right? So I got the idea for that and I thought, okay, well, what kind of flavor would I give it? And what kind of came across to me, something that I thought might be a cool vibe for it, and would work well in some of the campaign settings that I'm working on right now, would be something that was inspired by cenotes. So cenotes are flooded caverns and caves. You frequently find them out in jungle environments and that kind of thing. But you could find them, in all kinds of environments. But I thought it would be kind of cool to do one that the Lich kind of built off some of these caverns and created its own compartments, and then used some of the native aquatic inhabitants in these spaces and made them undead, and wove them into the traps and puzzles and what have you. So I sat down and I brainstormed a whole bunch of ideas out. I used the 5-room dungeon sort of methodology for this to keep it kind of small and a finite space. Ended up kind of blowing up into 8 rooms. But I sat down and I generated the map. And today, what we're going to walk through is populating that map that I designed. So without any further ado, let's get into it. All right, since today's sponsor is Quest Portal, I thought it would be kind of cool for us to do our adventure design inside the Quest Portal VTT. And so I'm starting by coming here to the Quest Portal homepage, and I've gone ahead and set up a campaign for this particular adventure. So I'm going to select that. I'm going to go to our session where I can upload the map. To do that, I'm going to come over to our scenes, and I'm going to go to create scene. I'm going to take the map that we built, which is off screen here, and I'm going to drag that up and over. And we're going to call this Lich's First Deathtrap, since that's the adventure idea that we're running with here. Now, I can add some music or sounds to this. There's already like a free library loaded up into Quest Portal, which I really like. The one that I like the most for this one is, let's see here, Cavern of Lost Souls. I think that one's suitably spooky. So we're going to add that as kind of the background mix for this scene. And we're going to go ahead and save scene. Now that it's saved, we'll add that to our scene deck, which means that when we click on it, we can have that populate right over here on in the center. So we'll be able to reference our map while we go through and actually do our adventure design. The last thing that I will go ahead and do for this map is set the grid. And to do that, I'm going to just find a suitable grid space on here and shrink this until it fits. Just get that to a rough match. Yeah, that's pretty good. Cool. All right. Now our grid is set. And if we were to go ahead and toss in some tokens in here, they would auto scale to the appropriate size. And we can move them wherever we need to. We don't need tokens right now because we are still building out our system. So we're going to go ahead and go to notes, or building out our adventure, I should say. So we're going to go over here and go to notes. And we have 2 sections. We've got private notes and campaign notes. Campaign notes are public. So all of your players, when you're running the adventure through this VTT, would be able to see them. Private notes are where we're going to create our actual adventure, since those are private to the GM. We're going to start by creating a new folder, because I'm going to create new pages for each room in here. You could do 1 page for the whole thing, but we're going to break it up into chunks, I think, just to make this a little easier to kind of skip between rooms as we actually go through and play it. So we're going to call this, which is First Deathtrap. Now, functionally, if we were building out a full campaign, we'd name the campaign something else, and then we'd have our adventure name here. But since they're kind of one and the same for this video, that's what we're doing. And we're going to go ahead and add our first note page here inside that folder, and we're going to start with room 1. So the idea that I had for this adventure was just a basic death trap. The idea is it's like, maybe a Lich's first death trap. You become a Lich, you've got to build your first death trap. You start with something small, something simple, something manageable, that's not too complicated, because you want to have a success and feel good about yourself, as opposed to trying to build something like the Tomb of the Nine Gods from the Tomb of Annihilation. It's a uber complicated death trap. You'll wait till you've got more experience as a Lich before you'll do that. So I thought a cool little 5-room dungeon design idea for this basic death trap would be a fun way to get started here. So we're going to start with room 1. And I envisioned this as an adventure for lower level players, right? So I'm thinking 4 players of second level is kind of a good range for this, because I was thinking that this might be a fun way to kind of introduce a Lich big bad early on in a campaign, as maybe a background character that, or background villain that our characters are become aware of through exploring this particular death trap. So, seeing as this is a death trap, I figured that the first room should feature, well, a trap. That seems suitable, right? So we could go through this whole thing and use the AI features from Quest Portal's VTT to create all of this kind of you know, from the ether. So we could call this the acid entry, and come down here and hit that / and pick from any of the little AI features here. For example, we could grab the location and we could type in an idea for this room. We could say a barren tomb-like chamber with scarred and pitted, we'll say with acid, scarred, and pitted stone walls, a pressure plate in the floor triggers an acid rain trap if stepped on, and hit generate. And it's going to give us, let's see, the caustic crypt, a forgotten chamber of old magics and corroded stone, aspects, the acid scarred runes etched into the walls, flickering green as torchlight cast eerie shadows, a central stone altar pitted and worn. Description: the air is thick with the acrid stench of acid, and the walls are etched with ancient ruins, their meaning lost to time. Atmosphere: an oppressive, ominous silence hangs heavy, punctuated by the occasional drip of unseen acid. That's kind of cool. So I think we're going to keep that. We're going to get rid of the stone altar, and we're going to change the name of acid entry to the caustic gate, I think. And get rid of that. Get rid of that. And we've already got some formatting here with a cool little description and some atmosphere to help us give some life to this one chamber. It took us a couple seconds. So along that end, this is H2. Cool. Let's add our trap. So let's say trap, and we're going to say a pressure plate in the center of the room triggers a 15-foot cube of acid rain. Creatures within the area must make a DC 11 Dex saving throw, or take 1d10 acid damage. Half damage on a success. So just a quick little barrage of a trap to open us up here. And with the AI features and this idea for a trap, we're done with this room. We already have room 1. Let's give it a number so we know what we're referencing. 1, the caustic gate. And let's move on to room 2. Now these are going to auto-populate up at the top when we hit this little plus. So we'll want to rearrange them like I just did, but we'll probably wait till the end to get them all rearranged. Just a little note to make it easier for you to kind of keep these things in order when you're doing this on your own. So let's say 2, and we'll come up with a name after we use our generator. So let's come down here to the AI again, hit location, and we're going to say an octagonal room with a rectangular pool in the center. 4 undead reef sharks swim in these waters. And as part of my prep stage of this, I went through and verified that 4 reef sharks comes out to about a medium difficulty encounter for a group of 2nd level characters. So 4 undead reef sharks swim in these waters. Once all the characters enter, the doors lock, and the room begins to flood at a rate of 3 feet per minute. All right, and let's see what that generates for us here. Drowned octagon, aquatic apparel, and a sealed chamber. Cool. Aspects, central rectangular pool with thrashing waters. 4 undead reef sharks patrol beneath the surface. The chamber floods rapidly, adding urgency and danger. Description: a dimly lit octagonal room echoes with the sounds of churning water, the air thick with the scent of salt and decay. Atmosphere: a claustrophobic sense of impending doom fills the air as the water steadily rises. I like that. So we're going to go ahead and keep that, and we're going to call this the Drowned Octagon. Very cool. And we'll go ahead and we'll put the details here. So format that is heading 2. We're going to say encounter 4 undead reef sharks patrol the water here. As the room floods, they swim out of the pool and attack the characters. And then we're going to hit that for trap. We're going to say once the majority of the party enters the room, the doors swing shut and lock. The chamber begins to flood at a rate of 3 feet per round. The doors can be picked or broken open with a successful DC 12 skill check. Checks underwater are made with disadvantage. Say strength checks. Strength checks underwater are made with disadvantage. When the doors open, the water sloshes out. disarming the trap. Cool. So, yeah, so we've got another room down, easy breezy. Doing it this way really makes it a really simple way to design a dungeon. We can get through a bunch of rooms here in a very little amount of time, especially since we kind of already have an idea for what we want in all these spaces. But the AI feature here really helps save a lot of time just in terms of formatting and kind of hashing out some of the details that we might otherwise just kind of leave blank and make up on the spot as we go. So let's continue on with room 3. I wasn't thinking that there would be much to this space. I was thinking instead that it wouldn't be an obvious entrance, that the characters might have had to search around the outside to kind of find it. The idea being that it rewards them if they go scouting around before they enter the death trap instead of, just kind of charging in headlong right into what would be a trap. So, it's reminding me I can show the players a scene. So we'll swap that to players. So there aren't any, but we'll get that little reminder window closed. All right. So let's say 3 and TBD, and let's do it again. So location. Let's say a simple stone altar room devoted to an unknown wizard. A secret door in the north wall. And that reminds me, we got to go back and add a note about that secret door in the other place, in area 2. A secret door in the north wall leads to a hidden corridor. And let's see what it comes up with. Forgotten Sanctum, a hidden shrine honoring an enigmatic wizard, which I assume is the Lich. Because, I mean, if you're going to build a death trap to yourself, why wouldn't you also build a shrine to yourself? They both seem equally self-serving. Hidden shrine to honoring an enigmatic wizard lost to time. Aspects crackstone altar with arcane symbols, mysterious secret door concealed in shadows, faint whisper, echo through the chamber, and description, dimly lit room filled with the scent of ancient stone, the faint hum of forgotten magic, atmosphere, eerie, enigmatic, steeped in the mystery of lost knowledge. Yeah, I like that. We're going to keep that. I'm going to say instead of faint whispers, we're going to say faint sounds of, we're going to say faint wave sounds. Kind of keep with the watery theme we have going with the rest of this. All right. And let's put a bit in here. Let's say secret door. The secret door in the north wall can be found with a successful DC 15 skill check. And I'm not going to define what skill check, whether we're using investigation or perception. To be honest with you, most of the time I'll let a character use whichever they want, or let a player use whichever one they want for their character. Because I think that ultimately it kind of amounts to the same thing. If they inspect the area, they would find it. If they have sharp eyes, they might find clues of it. And so I think it works either way. But that's all we really need for this one. So let's go ahead and let's copy that. Actually, before we move on, let's get this named properly. And let's do that. And now let's copy our secret door and let's go down to room 2 and add that here. We'll change that to the eastern wall. Great. Cool. And because I'm just particular about order, we're going to do that. And we are ready to move on to room 4. This is kind of like breezing by. The tools in this VTT really make it easy to generate a lot of this detail pretty rapidly, especially since we kind of come into this with an idea for what we want out of this adventure. So let's go ahead and hit area 4, TBD, and let's see what we get. So say a large natural cavern with a cenote in the center, an undead giant octopus lurks within the dark waters, let's say the lightless waters, guarding a secret tunnel. The floor is sandy and damp. All right. Let's see what we get here. The Abyssal Grotto, where darkness hides ancient secrets. They like the whole ancient secrets thing, don't they? That's fine. I like ancient secrets too. Aspects. Cenote's Edge, a crystalline pool concealing untold depths, whispering shadows, faint echoes that play tricks on the mind, and Guardian's Lair, the unsettling rustle of unseen tentacles lurking below. Okay. Description: an eerie cavern where the scent of damp earth mingles with the cold, briny air as soft sand cushions the steps. Atmosphere: an ominous stillness pervades, broken only by the distant dripping of water. All right, I'm cool with that. We can keep that there. And let's get that renamed. And then let's put an encounter in here. And one giant octopus against 4 second-level characters comes out as like a ratio of like 3 characters to one NPC or one creature. So this is not even really a medium difficulty encounter. It's just here to be a little bit vexing. It's an easy encounter, especially since the characters have just had kind of a hard time if they've gone through rooms 1 and 2. And this is just kind of to keep them on their toes, not to really, muck them up. And it's to discourage them from exploring inside the cenote, where they would find a secret passage that leads all the way to the end to Area 8. So let's say a giant octopus. That should be an undead. It's a Lich's tomb. They gotta be undead. The undead giant octopus lurks within the shadowy waters of the cenote. It attacks anyone who gets too close to the edge by grappling and dragging them underneath the water. Okay, and then secret tunnel. Anyone who explores the cenote finds a secret underwater secret tunnel that leads to Area 8. Cool. And yeah, because I don't think we need a DC to find that. I think it's an automatic thing. If they actually like get in the water and look, they'll spot it. which is a thing that like somebody who maybe gets attacked by the octopus and gets dragged in, they might spot it automatically. So it might be a boon from that comes out of this this tumultuous moment of having this battle with this undead creature that's lurking and hunting them from the waters here. Cool. This is shaping up. Look at that. All right. Scene, or I should say, Area 5 is a tunnel, a long tunnel that culminates in a pit trap, I imagine, that's got, again, little undead kippers in there, little piranha-like fish that you fall in there, you splash in, they immediately start attacking whatever character is careless enough to get dropped into the pit trap. So let's go ahead and create that. And 5, TBD, and let's see what we can get. Let's say a long and winding corridor of blank, let's see here, of dressed stone. The walls have a salt brine we'll say we have the walls are coated in salt and the air smells stagnant. At the end of the, say, instead of winding, we'll say spiraling, and spiraling corridor. At the end of the corridor is a concealed pit trap that hides a pool of undead piranha. Piranha. There we go. Okay, let's see what it comes up with. The lurking spiral. Forgotten corridor of creeping danger. Aspects: salt-encrusted stone walls, stagnant heavy air, concealed pit of undead piranhas. Description: a winding stone passage coated in salt, ending in a deadly pitfall. Atmosphere: foreboding and stifling stillness. Yeah, that's a stillness is kind of a theme here, but that makes sense for the kind of place that we're creating. After all, there isn't a lot of movement, I imagine, in a Lich's first Deathtrap. Okay, so let's go ahead and add our trap. Say trap, and we'll say a 5 foot by, let's say a 5 foot square of floor conceals a pit, say a 20 foot deep pit trap. Add to the bottom, should say the bottom 10 feet. Say the bottom 5 feet. Say 5 feet are is flooded and home to a pack of undead piranha. And we'll say that that is a swarm of kippers that attack any creature that falls in. any creature searching for traps may make a DC 15 skill check to discover the pit trap. Cool. All right, easy enough. And Area 5 is complete. And let's move on to Area 6. TBD. Let's see what it comes up with. So Area 6 is more of an antechamber, I think, leading to the ultimate, the final confrontation. So let's say an ominous antechamber with walls carved in scenes. Let's say here, antechamber, an ominous antechamber. The walls are carved with depictions of deaths at sea. A secret door in the eastern wall. Secret door is concealed in the eastern wall. And let's see what we get. Antechamber of the Drowned, a whispering echo of seafaring doom, aspects, walls engraved with haunting maritime tragedies, a persistent sound of distant crashing waves, hidden door masked by intricate ocean carvings, description, ancient stone walls, cold and damp, etched with chilling tales of seafarers lost to the abyss, atmosphere, a quiet dread punctuated by an eerie aquatic symphony. Yeah, I'm down with that. I like that. And let's go ahead back up to, let's steal from room 2 here. I'm just going to go ahead and take the secret door element there, copy paste, come here, toss that down. And this room is knocked out. I am really kind of digging this as a means to put together an adventure very rapidly. Really, I mean, this is almost cut the amount of time that it would take to do this in half. Very simple. Big fan of what we got going on here. So let's go ahead and add room 7. Let's see. 7 TBD. And what do we get from the location? Let's say this is a, let's see, this is a treasure room. Treasure room with nautical and oceanic themes. Let's see here. 3 magic items are concealed here. Are not concealed, are housed here. And they are a ring of water walking, cap of water breathing, and a cloak of the manta ray. Let's see what it gets us. All right, the Siren's Grotto, Chamber of Tides. We'll probably just call it Chamber of Tides, where the ocean's whisper guards treasures of the sea, aspects, bioluminescent coral walls. Now let's edit this. Let's say a stone-walled. See here, let's say a treasure room with dressed stone walls and nautical, oceanic themed carvings. And let's hit try again. Grotto of Tidal Treasures. The ocean's whispers guard ancient secrets. Nautical carvings depict mythical sea creatures, illuminated by a bioluminescent ceiling resembling a starry night, soft rhythmic echo of distant waves. Description: dressed stone walls adorned with intricate sea-themed carvings cradle a collection of maritime magic. A serene and mystical ambiance reminiscent of the ocean's embrace. Cool. I like that. It's a nice little change of pace. Let's keep that. And let's move that up here. And let's add treasure. It reminds me we probably need to put some treasure in some of the other rooms. We'll go back and add those in as we go. Yeah. Okay. So let's say this room houses a ring of water walking, a cap of water breathing, and a cloak of the manta ray. Excellent. And great. So let's go ahead and move that down. And then let's add our final scene, or I should say our final room, room 8. And TD. And let's see what we can come up with. So, see here, an elongated octagonal room with where the back wall is natural stone, a large pool in the back drains to 2 smaller pools that occupy the front and middle of the room. Let's see. The air is dank, humid, smelling of death and salt. In the large pool at the back, a statue of an unknown wizard presents a magical, which say holds, offers a magical item. Let's say a magical artifact. Maybe this is our MacGuffin. Maybe this is why. This is where we can kind of put whatever it is that draws our characters into this adventure. And we can go ahead and hit generate. The Wizard's Watery Sepulchre, Chamber of Mystic Waters and Hidden Relics, aspects, natural stone back wall with mysterious engravings, large central pool draining into smaller ones, statue of an unknown wizard holding a glowing artifact. Description: an elongated octagonal room filled with the scent of salt and death, where eerie stone walls, pools, and waters cradle a mysterious statue. Atmosphere gloomy and arcane, echoing with whispered enchantments. Yeah, I'm down with that. I like that. So let's put a encounter in here. And so let's say encounter. And for this, I want to add something that has a little bit of flavor to it. I think climactic encounters should be a little bit different from sort of your standard encounters. So one, it needs to be a little more difficult, I think. And two, I think it needs to have a little bit of a twist, a surprise to it. So what I was thinking for this is that we would have a pair of what I'm calling swell ghouls. And so I looked it up, and again, ghouls are a CR1, and so for a group of 4 second level characters, that's a ratio of 3 characters to 1 creature. So if we have 2 of those, that becomes what would come out to about a hard or a deadly level encounter, probably closer to hard. But we can jazz up our ghouls a little bit from just being, the typical sort of monsters, to giving them a feature that I'm going to openly admit was inspired by Adventure Time. And there's an episode, I think it's in season 1, where Finn goes into the dungeon of the Crystal Eye, and he encounters an entity called the Bucket Knight that when he adds water, he enlarges. And I just thought that would be a really cool thing for these ghouls to do. In this room that's got so much water, when they get wet, they become affected by the enlarge spell. And then when they're dried off, they shrink back down. It could be something that the characters might be able to use to their advantage, but it would also be kind of a cool little surprise when they see these ghouls and they think, okay, we've got this. And then all of a sudden the ghouls get big. I like that. Also think we might give them pack tactics so that they work as a team, the 2 ghouls. It's then to the character's advantage to sort of separate them. And so we give them some little tactical nuance here that makes them a little bit beefier, but not too much beefier, but it gives a little bit of, a little dynamic that is, I think, would make the encounter more fun. So we're going to say 2 swell ghouls inhabit this space. The ghouls have the following additional characteristics. And let's see here, task, image, line, little button. Can we, I guess we're just gonna have to do a dash here. Oh, hey, sweet, it makes bullet points all automatically. That's nice. I was gonna say there has to be a way to do them. We've been having bullet points throughout. Fantastic. So you just type a dash. I'm gonna say the ghouls become let's see here, the ghouls enlarge as if the target of the enlarge spell when wet. And let's see here, when wet, the ghouls have pack tactics. The ghouls have a swim speed of 30 feet. Just means they'll be able to move through the water faster. I I imagine the back pool has got some depth to it, but probably not the two front pools. Still, just gives them a little more mobility in this space, and it's something for the characters to contend with. The ghouls attack anyone who attempts to collect the artifact held by the wizard statue. And now we can toss in some treasure. Statue holds the adventure's MacGuffin. In addition, there are, my prep here came up with, let's see here, gloves of swimming and climbing. Swimming and climbing. 4 amphoras of 100 gold pieces each, and 4 bowls of 1,000 silver pieces each at the statue's base, statue's feet, say. There are one pair, I should say that is there. There is one pair of gloves of swimming and climbing, 4 amphoras of 100 gold pieces each, and 4 bowls of 1,000 silver pieces each at the statue's feet. Great. Cool. And let's go ahead and rename that section here. All right, and let's go back through and let's add some treasure into our various rooms. You know, now that I think about it, I really think that Area 4, one, it needs some treasure, I think. I think it needs to have some treasure, but I also think that it needs a little bit something else to the room. So I had initially, when I was thinking about this adventure and getting ready to draw the map for it, I had envisioned putting a riddle in here somewhere. So maybe we put a riddle door in Area 4, especially since there's that secret door or that secret tunnel that they can use to get out of that space without solving the riddle. Maybe we make the door from Area 4 to Area 5 a riddle door. And since that's also kind of close to the water, you know, we end up in a situation where it's a little like, where it would be a little bit like the Fellowship of the Ring, right? Where they're sitting outside of the Mines of Moria, and they're trying to figure out the riddle of the, speak friend and enter, and there's that crazy octopus kind of style monster in the water there that after the hobbits disturb the still water, it attacks. So maybe we do something like that in here. It would also make this room it would also give us a little more justification to put some treasure in this room here. Maybe something that the octopus is guarding as well. So let's toss some treasure in here to start. Let's see, treasure. And let's say the octopus guards a chest that contains my list of treasure options here. I have a chest of 50 gold pieces. Let's do that. Contains a chest that contains 50 gold pieces. And let's put riddle door. Riddle door. A door. Let's see here. door between area, should say the door leading to area 5 is a riddle door. It bears, let's see here, it's a stone door bearing a variety of alchemical symbols. Each of these symbols is raised as if a button. Round the door is the following riddle. And let's make this box text. We'll say, and this is a riddle that I wrote while I was doing my video on how to write riddles. Just when I was playing around with, while I was kind of solidifying my approach on how I go through writing riddles. So we're going to use it for this because the answer to it actually happens to be water. So we're going to say, timeless am I, mother of all. From ground I swell, and sky I fall. Too much or too little brings death and strife. But without my presence, there is no life. So, timeless am I, mother of all. From ground I swell and sky I fall. Too much or too little brings death and strife. But without my presence, there is no life. And put our commas in there. Cool. So we have this little riddle, and then we can say that the answer is water. If a character touches the alchemical symbol for water, the door unlocks and opens. Cool. So we've got a cool little challenge in here now. Yeah, I don't know why I was going to skip that, but I like it better. I really do. So yeah, we got a cool little challenge in here with a little reward. A puzzle to figure out, which is fitting for a death trap. They're full of little puzzles and things like that, with a hostile creature in there. We've got a couple good trap rooms. We've got a cool little climactic encounter, another little trap along the way, some treasure. Yeah. I think I've got one other item on my little potential treasure list here that I generated while I was kind of brainstorming this. And let's put it in room 2. Let's come up here and add some treasure here. Let's say that at the bottom of the pool is a single pearl. And we'll say that it's worth 25 gold pieces. All right. And look at that. We've got a fully playable adventure with a map, rooms all populated, ready for our characters to adventure inside and discover treasure and hazards and danger and undead baddies and all kinds of fun stuff like that. And with the use of AI, it really took us no time at all to build this pretty nicely rendered adventure here. Now, I won't say that AI is the end-all be-all when it comes to writing adventures. It's a tool like anything else. It's not going to do this stuff for you, but it can help get through some of the minutia and so that you have something that's very easy to run and easy to play. It looks nice and clean, um, while not having to spend a ton of time doing it. But it doesn't replace creativity. It doesn't replace your own ingenuity and that human element that you bring to the table. Because the bottom line is, AI is not going to be able to DM the game for you. That's something that really only you can do. And so when you use the tools that are in VTTs like this to their full effect, I think it really can help you crank out stuff that's exciting and fun for your players. It takes a little less time, so you spend more time playing and less time planning. Thanks for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment, as all of those help the channel grow. And if you'd like to try out Quest Portal for yourself, check out the affiliate link in the video description. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.